I'm Avery Davidson.
And I'm Kristen Oaks-White. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Well, it can be expensive to fill up a 15 or 20 gallon fuel tank, but imagine if you had to buy 20,000 gallons.
This week, TWILA's Neil Melanson shows us how shrimpers trying to provide the state with this staple seafood are having a tough time even before they leave the dock.
Kendra Arneson is doing far too much walking and not captaining her shrimp boat these days. She says the cost of diesel fuel has got her and many fellow shrimpers underwater.
A lot of our vessels for the opening of May season right here at Long's Dock remain docked around, we call it dock locked, around the dock itself. So it's been a major impact.
In fact, Arneson says she's bought a new shrimp boat, but it's too expensive to sail it to her home port.
We signed the paperwork 2 months ago and we have not went and got the vessel and brought it back here because of the price of fuel. It's just too expensive. It's too much. It's fine where it's sitting, and until that fuel price goes down or the shrimp price goes up, the boat can remain dock locked.
The price of shrimp right now isn't helping either.
The volume that we would have to catch just to break even on fuel is a large amount of shrimp. And I mean, so like my boat, for instance, I can only hold so many boxes on this vessel. So if my shrimp catch doesn't outweigh my fuel cost, not only am I not able to go back, but I'm not able to maintain my vessel, pay my light bill, or anything else that we need to take care of.
One thing that would help, Arneson says, is stopping the flow of imports, particularly illegal ones.
My call out is to the President of the United States, the Department of Commerce Secretary, and the International Trade Commission to stay within the rules of the road of the World Trade Organizations and our trade agreements, and to I'm calling for emergency action for them to limit the overall volume, the influx of shrimp, imported shrimp, encompassing all countries of origin.
There are far too many vessels moored here for this time of day at the Venice Marina, and while the problems that are keeping them here may be many, there's one thing we can all do to help, and that is only buy and consume Louisiana-grown shrimp. Reporting from Venice, Louisiana, I'm Neil Melanson.
We're currently in inshore shrimp season, which runs from May through July. The fall season runs mid-August to mid-December.
The Federal Trade Commission officially launched an investigation into skyrocketing fertilizer prices, which continue to cripple farms across the country. Bloomberg reports that the FTC chair made an announcement to a group of corn growers in Texas saying that fertilizer costs have become the single biggest increase in input expenses since 2020. Federal officials are looking for evidence from farmers and retailers about possible anti-competitive practices, but the FTC says they will need, quote, strong evidence to take any legal action. The announcement comes as the Justice Department is also investigating several major fertilizer manufacturers over potential price collusion. Well, school gardens are hip to have these days, but do any of them actually provide food to the lunchroom?
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of school gardens, but what about a multi-house hydroponic vegetable farm that's providing food to every school lunchroom in the parish? This week, TWILA's Karl Wiggers takes us to Rayville High School to see that impressive operation.
Inside these modest greenhouses built in the 1980s, you'll find a lot of produce.
And peak, we do 100 pounds a week of cucumbers. We do 500 head of lettuce a week, 250 to 300 pounds of cherry tomatoes a month. We do a little over 1,000 pounds of tomatoes a month. These are a half a greenhouse. This was a 96-foot greenhouse. It's divided in half to make 250-foot. I can control the temperature or the environment for each individual product.
Most of that produce is getting picked by Rory Gresham, the greenhouse manager for Richland Parish Produce. All of this produce finds its way into lunchrooms in every school in Richland Parish.
The kids can get a chef salad now that has a chicken breast in it or ham in it and all fresh vegetables. I grow 6 colors of bell peppers so they can mix it and match it. The schools can get the red nutrition, the orange nutrition, and the other nutrition colors in. And so it's a lot better for the schools.
The fresh taste is making a difference. Gresham says it's getting more kids to eat their vegetables.
Originally, Rayville High School was serving 15 salads a week. And by COVID, we were probably at 200 salads a day.
That's only the increase at one school in the district. There's a lot of demand in this rural school district, but some of this food is also going out to the public.
We're probably doing 35% non-school, 65 school.
That non-school business is to local restaurants and neighbors coming in for some ingredients for their BLT.
We may have 40, 45 people a week walking in to buying tomatoes and lettuce and cucumbers and bell peppers. During the summer, when I have a lot of cucumbers, we'll have a pickle factory out at Freeport come pick up pickles.
This is not your typical backyard garden. It takes a lot of work, but Gresham says it's not necessarily difficult.
There's work in every aspect of it. Nothing is hard, nothing is heavy. I mean, how hard is it to pollinate and then pull a sucker off and do that? But it's 500 times a day I got to do that.
Gresham says he's proud of what he's built here and wants to see it adopted elsewhere.
It's nice to know that you can grow something like this and do it, and it's unique. I think that's probably my most fun, is getting it started rolling elsewhere. We were one of the first in the nation to be on-campus greenhouses.
Reporting in Rayville, I'm Karl Wiggers for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
You may remember Karl did some stories on this back in 2017 and again in 2019. That one had almost 700,000 views. We'll link you to those stories on our website at twilatv.org. And by the way, Karl said he was impressed that some things have greatly improved, but not a lot has changed, like the incredible number of salads students and faculty are consuming each week.
Imagine having a crop consultant, maps of your farm, historical data on each field, along with weather information and the entire list of LSU Ag Center and EPA recommendations for chemical applications, all right here. That's what Louisiana-based tech company FarmMind is doing. Farmers and ranchers had the chance last week to get hands-on with FarmMind's AI software, maps, and tools at the Richland Parish Farm Bureau office in Abbeville. FarmMind CEO Karl led the demonstration showing how the tool can cross-reference yields in each field with satellite data and then make recommendations to fix issues in that field. Raby says the goal is to keep farmers in business. Devon Dorwan grows sugarcane in Vermilion, Lafayette, and Acadia parishes and sees how FarmMind could help him.
Planning, the mapping, keeping track of the varieties and the acres and the weather, see how much rain you get in one spot. You can just look at your phone and you can be like, oh, it's wet in this area, let's go 30 miles down the road. It's a dry spot, we're better to work there without having to go ride and check.
Right now, you see a lot of consolidation in agriculture, right? You see a lot of the big players gobbling up some of the small ones. I think that's really bad for America as a whole, because I think having a distributed farm system of having a whole bunch of small farms that don't have any one point of failure, that's actually our strength, because we can have people try different things, we can do things, and we can keep it in the family. These 5 generation, 6 generation farmers, they have institutional knowledge that they've learned through the generations. We don't want them to give that up simply because they've had a couple bad years. And so hopefully if we can put this technology at their service, that will help them stay more profitable. That will help their bottom line. So then they have the leverage. So if someone comes in and says, look, we want to buy up the farm, they actually have a choice.
Now, if you would like to learn more about FarmMind or request a demonstration, look for the link on our website at twilatv.org.
This week marked the 97th Louisiana FFA State Convention and Expo held at the Randolph Riverfront Center in Alexandria. There, students were celebrated for their accomplishments from the past year and selected the state leadership team for the next year. Outgoing President Owen Kelly says the FFA convention really comes down to members all getting together.
Every year we get to come together and see everything that our members have been doing all throughout the year, but of course we get to recognize them. But it's also really cool to see everything going on. We have contests going on right now. We have people walking out of session, and here we got to see not just our members and everything they accomplished, but a lot of big players in Louisiana agriculture.
One of those industry leaders present was Louisiana Farm Bureau President Richard Fontenot, who says FFA played a huge part in preparing him for the leadership role he's in today.
Some of the skills I learned in FFA, parliamentary procedure, we were on a state winning team, and I still use some of those parliamentary skills today, and I wouldn't have that opportunity if I wouldn't have been exposed to it back then. So I do think it provides some lifelong skills, lifelong networks and friends and relationships that take you tomorrow.
If you're coming to the Louisiana Farm Bureau Convention in a couple of weeks, you'll probably see some of those blue jackets roaming the halls. Make sure to stop them and say hello. Still to come on TWILA, Kristen heads to crawfish country for the profile of our next YF&R Achievement Award finalist.
But first, we sit down with the only farmer in the running for Louisiana's open Senate seat. Stay with us.
You're watching This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
Thank you for staying with us here on This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. We're continuing our series of interviews with candidates running for the U.S. Senate. The next election will be on June 27th. Joining me now is Jamie Davis. He is the lone farmer in this race. Jamie, thank you for joining us on This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, Jamie, for folks who may not have seen the story Karl Wiggers did on you a few years back, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a cotton farmer from Tensall Parish. Been farming since I've been old enough to remember myself. My parents started our family farm in 1977 back on beautiful Lake St. John, just a small little 75, 80 acre farm that over the course from the 70s to now has grown to be a 3,200 acre row crop farm that we grow cotton, corn, and soybeans. In four parishes: Franklin, Catahoula, Concordia, and Tensall.
So how did farming lead to a decision to run for the U.S. Senate?
Well, farming didn't just play a role in it. Farming is the main reason, because when you watch the people that you vote for to send them to do a job that farmers need to be done, and they continue to fail us, at some point in time you say, I may need to get up and do this myself, because for me, what it means to most is to be able to leave a legacy and a farm to family members and them be able to survive. And I'm looking at tariffs and wars and things that are just making it harder to farm. And so you go do it yourself. So I decided to, along with my family and a few friends, to put together a committee, and we decided to make a run for it. You know, I ran for the State House back in 2023, and that was a trying time for people at that time, and I've always got involved when there was a fight. And my first fight was a school consolidating in Tensall Parish that would put babies getting up at 5 in the morning to go to school. That fight was worth fighting for, and this one is also.
So what are some of the issues that you see important to agriculture that you're bringing forward in your campaign?
Well, right now, the number one thing for me is affordability, and that's affordability through life. That's affordability in ag also, because with the first bomb that was dropped in Iran, the price of diesel moved and the price of fertilizer moved. So for me, it has to be being able to afford doing what I love to do, and that's growing cotton.
So talking a little bit about some of those agricultural issues, if you were to go to the Senate, we're looking at a farm bill that's finally in the higher house, if you will, coming out of the House of Representatives, going to the Senate, the first time since 2018. Mm-hmm. That would be a pretty important thing.
It is important, and I believe that a farmer's vote would be a vote towards that farm bill. That would be a vote towards the farm bill that farmers need. And I feel like I will be a voice for not just Louisiana farmers, but the farmers all over the nation. Because currently, right now, we don't have a farmer serving in the Senate. And the one thing we love doing, not purposefully, but we'll fight for what we believe in. And that's why I'm here.
I'll make this the last question before we wrap up. If you were to make an appeal to someone to why should they vote for Jamie Davis?
The reason why Louisiana should vote for Jamie Davis is because Jamie Davis is the guy that you would like to have a beer with. Jamie Davis is the guy that you would invite to a barbecue and then he ends up doing the cooking. Jamie Davis is the guy that if you're in trouble and you need some help, you can depend on calling Jamie Davis. Jamie Davis is the guy that will give you the shirt off of his back. You know, I'm the guy that's about helping and bridging people together. And I believe when we are in the Senate, that we will have some no nonsense in Washington that will show people that you can get together and have a conversation so that we can get some things done. It's time out for having all of this partisan fights. It's okay for people to have a different ideologically when it comes to that, but we need to be able to just get along as people and be able to get some things done. And that's what I bring to the table. And the other big part of it is, who better to get the job done than a farmer?
Well, we know that farmers know how to get things done. Thank you so much. He is Jamie Davis, a candidate for the U.S. Senate. Again, that election is coming up on June 27th. That is the runoff for the primaries, with the general election coming in November. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks so much, Avery. Now we continue our series profiling the 3 finalists vying for the Louisiana Farm Bureau's Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award. The winner will be announced at the 104th Annual Louisiana Farm Bureau Convention in New Orleans. This week we take you to Vermilion Parish, where the story of Laura Hebert is written across rice fields, crawfish ponds, and rows of sugarcane. This year, the 4th-generation farmer has learned that some of the toughest seasons can also reveal the greatest strength.
In Vermilion Parish, where the wind rolls through endless fields of sugarcane and crawfish ponds stretch to the horizon, 4th-generation farmer Laura Hebert is fighting to hold on to the life she loves.
You feel like a punching bag sometimes, like you get hit, you try and come back and pick yourself up and start all over again.
After navigating one of the toughest years of her farming career, Hebert is learning that farming isn't just about growing crops, it's about survival.
I think I had around 150 acres in rice last year. We took a hard hit with that, with not being able to sell at the right time, the prices being really low. We hadn't seen those prices since, I think, 2010. So it really hit us hard, me and my dad both.
This year, the pressure has been coming from every direction. Low grain prices, higher input cost, drought, and losing farmland to development.
Last year, I lost 100 acres to a landowner selling some property. I've kind of had to fight to keep some land, go to landowners and tell them, look, let me farm the land now. If you do decide to sell it later, we can arrange that, but just let me keep farming it.
But in the midst of uncertainty, one crop has given her hope.
To have the saving grace of sugarcane has been kind of a light on the farm. It's kind of like you're in that steady zone. You can plan for the future. We're not counting pennies anymore. We're actually able to make a profit, be able to afford equipment and give the crop what it needs. I feel like I'll be farming sugarcane for a long time. And I'm proud to call myself a sugarcane farmer now.
Even with the success of sugarcane, the future still feels uncertain.
The first time in my career, I feel like I've had to think about what can I do to maybe get some income off of the farm, just because sugarcane is great right now, but with the way the economy is going, I don't know what the future is going to look like. So trying to think about what can I do to help the farm.
From the crawfish ponds her grandparents once worked together to the rice fields that built her family, she's determined to keep those traditions alive.
I feel like it's in my blood. It's just it's what I've always known. It's what my families love to do. So I think that in a few years, things will be better. You pray on it, you do what you can, and I hope that in 10 years from now or 15 years from now, I'm still able to plant rice and crawfish and be profitable. And even if not, it'll be a hobby. It'll be something that it'll never leave the farm.
Through the long days and hard seasons, her wife Amber and their son give her even more reason to keep fighting for the farm.
He's been a huge light in my life for sure. Even on the tough days, coming home to him is kind of makes it all worth it. It makes the struggle worth it, and it makes me want to keep farming, to be able to see him enjoy what I do and share that together.
And even in a year filled with setbacks, Hebert says farming still gives her something nothing else can.
I think that we do what we do. It's not for the money. I'm not here because I'm going to be the most profitable farmer. I'm here because I'm doing what I love. Regardless of how beat down I am, I can step in the field and still feel a sense of pride. And even though I'm going through a struggle every day, I know that I can make it out on the other side.
The winner of the 2026 Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award will receive a $35,000 cash prize and an all-expenses-paid trip to the American Farm Bureau Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, to compete for the National YF&R Achievement Award in January of 2027. Still to come on TWILA, more than just a farm, Indian Village Harvest is a great place to play, learn, and of course, eat. Stay with us.
One Louisiana farm is doing a whole lot more than selling fruits and vegetables.
At Indian Village Harvest Farm in my hometown of Calhoun, families are finding fresh air, hands-on learning, and as Tammy Arender shows us, it's a chance to reconnect with where food really comes from.
There you go. There's something special about seeing a child pick a strawberry for the very first time. At Indian Village Harvest Farm in Calhoun, that moment happens every day during strawberry season. Oh, that's pretty. What started as a produce farm for Rebecca and William Cook has grown into a full agritourism destination where families can spend the day making memories. The Cooks host field trips where kids learn that their food comes from a farmer, not a shelf at the grocery store, and the benefits of knowing your farmer.
When you know your farmer, you know where your food comes from. You know what you're putting in your body. Everybody wants to be healthy, whether we are or not. You want to be, so you're always looking for the best stuff you can put in your body. And if you know your farmer on a personal basis, which we try to do that here, you know where your food comes from.
During strawberry season, visitors can pick their own, or you can visit the petting zoo.
Good boy.
Maybe even the playground and other outdoor activities, and cool off afterward with homemade ice cream made using products grown right here on the farm. It's as much about the experience as it is the food grown here.
They're out there on that playground or out there picking vegetables and fruits and stuff. They're not on the couch on their video games messing with their mind.
What you got there? While the You Pick Strawberry Patch has become quite popular, don't overlook the squash, tomatoes, onions, and peaches and other vegetables available at their on-farm store. Plus, the old-fashioned playground that's providing hours of smiles and bonding time.
I can pedal that. She can just.
If they don't leave here with a smile on their face and a screaming kid, we haven't done our jobs.
I'm Tammy Arender for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
Indian Village Harvest Farm is open pretty much year-round. They even have pumpkins in the fall and Christmas festivities. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next week when we'll show you why you might want to check where your next T-shirt was made. A new cotton program encourages people to buy local.
Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. You can find all of these stories and more on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you know we put something new out there.
For all of us here at TWILA, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.